Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. In this episode, myself and Tom interviewed one of our longest term subscribers who goes by the name of Pom. Pom joined all the way back at the end of 2020, and Pom's story is one of not only inspiration of someone who's made over $130,000 during that time, but also someone who has come from the complete opposite end of the spectrum and telling stories such as losing $20,000 in an hour just 1 month before joining both the Hussla Squad and the system back in 2020. It's a really good insight into someone who's been able to not only transition his mindset and laugh at himself while working full-time, while having a family, and being able to absolutely take this by the balls and completely change his life, now being able to obviously do whatever he wants with the financial freedom that has come with it. Pom also shares with us his ideas and his views on how people don't believe him when he tells them and stuff like that. And we can relate to some of the stuff that he has to share with us in regards to haters and people who call him a liar when he talks about his profits with his people at work and stuff like that. If you have any questions for Pom, you can message him on his Telegram account, Pom2022. And once again, if you have any questions for us, all links will be in the description. You can go to both Instagrams and DM us personally, or have a look through the free course or the systemoz.com.au website. We hope you guys enjoy this one. All right, so welcome, Pom. You are our third testimonial guest on this podcast. Firstly, welcome to you, and you found your way here from the other side of town, which is awesome.
Thank you.
No worries. I'll introduce you first. So Pom is probably one of our first, I'd say, 40 Platinum Squad hustlers.
I think so, yeah.
When did you join back again?
I think it's coming up to about, must be 2 years now. It's got to be, because I remember being part of a Telegram group and you explaining you were part of a new service that you were just setting up and, getting sorted.
Yeah.
And I just thought, maybe not. And then I was like, I'll give it a go. So obviously I had a friend before who had said he did it and I trusted him, so I knew it would work. So I had every confidence. Yeah. And then eventually I stopped, spending so much on gambling because I was just wasting it. And I thought, do you know what? I've wasted $800 this week already. I might as well just buy the Platinum course and go with it. And then I was a bit shy. I was like, I was a bit arrogant. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. As you do, you think you're better than everyone else. And then I actually started to, look into the content, and I thought, wow, like this is like completely out of my mind. Like I didn't know this side existed. And I was a bit vigilant. I did some research and I looked at Betfair and I was like, what is this? Like, this is ridiculous. And for no joke, for about 4 weeks, I couldn't even look at Betfair. I thought, this is ridiculous. Like, I'll never understand this. Yeah. And then as the weeks and the months and the questions kept coming along, it started to sink in. And then eventually, I had a different mindset. Instead of wasting all my wages gambling all the time. Yeah. And then I just went from there, really. And then, obviously, the income of money was really helped me with a lot of things, like socialising more, like buying new stuff. I had a baby that paid for all my rent, my bills. Yeah. Like, I got a bit arrogant with money because I were used to so much money coming in. And then eventually I settled on a line where I had to get a bit of my own system, like how much I wanted to make. Like how to prioritise my money more, not to blow my money as much. Yeah. And then obviously we had to start buying things for baby. And then that's when, I just said $500 a week is my happy time. Yeah, cool. Yeah,
that's awesome. Like, obviously you covered a few things there. I want to rewind all the way back to prior joining to Hussla. So I reckon that Telegram group was just a random one that we made to just talk shit about betting and then trying to get people in through that and educate more people. But prior to doing the free course, doing Platinum Squad, how much were you gambling and how much were you losing, if you want to share that? Well, and for how long as well?
Well, to be honest, I've been gambling for like many years of my life, even in England. I used to go to the bookies, and then I came over to Australia, and that's when I was doing maybe $40 a week. Okay. And then, I don't know, me and my friend made this ridiculous bet. We're like, we're going to put $2,000 on a bet. If it wins, it wins. If it doesn't, it doesn't, whatever. Anyway, so we put $2,000 on a bet. He put one on a soccer game and I put one on Port Melbourne. Obviously, it came in. I thought, this is it. And then within like 3 days, I'd lost like $2,000, $1,000 investment, and then $1,000 winnings. And then the stakes went from $100 a time to like $1,000 a time. And then I got really annoyed. I got really emotionally involved. And then that's when the big hits started. So I think I must have lost 20 grand or something in about an hour. And I was just like,
hour.
yeah.
Fucking hell.
On what?
Greyhounds, because like I was part of so many groups, and you thought, oh yeah, they know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the thousands go to doubling, then you're doubling it to 4,000, then you're just like, whatever, I'm not bothered. If it wins, it wins. And then within an hour, bang, 20 grand, easy. And I was just like, well, shit.
How long after you lost the 20 was the next bet?
Oh, probably a day after.
Yeah, okay.
So when I have a mindset, if I lose, it takes me about a day to get over, and then I just move on.
Yeah.
And then that happened quite a few times, There's no limit with me.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I don't want to get into your financial situation, but obviously to lose 20K and then just say, okay, that's fine. You've obviously in a position where not you could lose it, but you were able to still survive. Like if you throw 20 grand down the drain from, 19-year-old, they probably only got 2K to their name. They might be in debt 18K.
Yeah.
So I guess, were you still like comfortable financially, or were you in a position where that fucking fucked you a bit?
To be honest, I've always worked 2 jobs since I've been in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So every week I get paid from either job.
Yeah.
So I've got a good source of income, but still no excuse to blow that amount of money.
Course.
But the more money you earn, I guess the more it goes, the more you spend. And I don't really have traction of money. It's just a spare of the moment thing. But I've always had money aside, but it's still annoying when you look at your bank and you think, well, that was really immature, really stupid. But I just get over the feelings so quickly,
So that was end of 2020, I think, yeah?
Oh, no, it was probably...
I'd
say it was probably before I joined Hussla.
Yeah, so I think you joined. I could look it up on my phone.
I think it was in December.
Yeah, December. So like what? Yeah. Around November, October?
I'd say so, definitely,
okay.
yeah.
So almost like 2 years ago to the date.
Yeah,
when
around 2
and
years
you've almost
ago.
been in the community for 2 years.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
I mean, like you're, like I know for a fact you're the oldest system subscriber.
Yeah,
like you've been there since
day one.
Yeah, literally day one.
Yeah,
when we were free.
I was there with 7 units, and a few of my friends joined, and they carried it on for a bit, and then they stopped, and I was like, don't stop. I was like, this is going to be a big thing. And now they're like, oh, how many units? It's like every week, how many units? What's the total? I'm like, well, if you just join, and then you don't have to keep asking me, and now we're like at over 700 now. And I was like, I told you.
Yeah.
But people don't want to listen, or they can't be bothered. They don't want to put the effort and the time in. So
with like you've got Betfair knowledge as well, you'd be significantly over 700 units.
Yeah.
Like if you looked at it, I know that you're just looking at your match betting as a whole, and you're probably not focused solely on what the system's made for you. But yeah, it's nice to have. There's a few of you. You're easily the biggest, like OG, but there are a few other subscribers that were in there from really early days, like less than 50 units, and they're still there now. So I'm
committed. Like I spend more on Red Bull than I probably do on my subscription. So,
you're paying $34.99 a month. So it's a piss take. Because I asked you if you were going to upgrade. I reckon like 6 months ago, and you told me the upgrade would be more expensive than what you're paying now. So I was like, oh yeah, no shit, that's right.
Yeah, and it's just come part of life now. Every Saturday, like I can go out, I can set my alarms, and if needs be, I can like just take my Mac with me and do what I need to do.
That was going to be my next question. Like obviously, you've come from that place where you were punting a fair bit, no real structure, and you were just doing it spur of the moment, whatever. But now that you're in both of the communities and you know what the system entails, for example, what does a Saturday look like for you? Because every subscriber's is different, but a lot of the people that have been here for a long time are, they've got it down pat. It's very efficient. So what does your Saturday look like?
So to be fair, my Saturday, I usually work every Saturday, but the industry that I work in, I can do that. So I'm really lucky in that aspect, so I can work and do the system at the same time up to a certain time I finish my other job, and then I'll just make sure I've got everything in place when I'm driving home. But yeah, I wake up in the morning, Red Bull, obviously, go to work, just check what I need to do, laptop on the table, and then obviously I wait for the the Telegram
promo list.
the promo list, and then I just fire up my Mac, and then I just have everything all on my screens, and then I set all my alarms. I've got so many alarms now. I must have an alarm for every single minute of the day, and I just literally go through the dates and the times, whatever event it is at the day, and then I just literally, set an alarm about 2 or 3 minutes before, so I know when to get ready, and all my notifications are ready to run as well. And
do you plan which bookie you're going to use for the races in advance?
To be fair, I like to follow the promo list because, I like to spread it out, so I don't want to get banned, and obviously sustainability is massive, and sometimes if you lose one of your main accounts, it's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So I'll do it on a rotational basis.
Yeah, cool. So you've got how many accounts are you running across the system?
Well, it's quite hard to say because obviously I've got other accounts open that is not on the list. So, and other things I do, so I have access to other accounts. So it depends on the day where I want to focus my bets and my sustainability, and obviously where the best promos are at for me. So it's quite hard because I do different things. I'm not too sure what I can say and not say with the.
I mean, that's up to you. We don't promote anything that's that the bookies don't promote, but whatever people do on the side, that's up to them. But
I've got other means and sources where I can really just hit the main ones. Yeah. So I'm pretty lucky. I'm just learning, really.
Yeah. With obviously you've been around for 2 years, and there's a bit of not a myth, but there's this idea that no one can sustain their accounts. A lot of other services, you're just going to get banned after 2 months. It's inevitable. No matter what
everyone
you do,
making money loses their bonuses.
No matter what you do, if you're winning, you lose your account. Bookies round you up. How many accounts of your own have you still got?
Of my own, well, I know there's probably. I think there's about 75 accounts available at the moment. Yeah. That's off the top of my head. And over the 2 years, I've probably only lost 6.
6.
Yeah.
And do you reckon if you had the setup that you had now, or the knowledge you had now 2 years ago,
I'd still have them?
Yeah.
Because I reckon you lost your lad before joining Hussla, or no? Is that wrong?
I lost my lads, my Neds. They were 2 big ones.
Was that before or after joining?
That was after joining.
So do you know why you went wrong there?
Just not wrong. Just the sustainability. Just because I used to hit everything the promos, and I just weren't bothered. But over time, I've managed to get advice off everybody in the group, and looking through the videos and sustainability videos, it helps heaps. And then you go, well, I can do this differently, and you can sustain your accounts. People think it's just impossible. It's not. It's just you have to take your time. There's no rush.
That's the thing. Everyone's so focused on making the money straight away, and this method's awesome, or this is so sick, let's just start cashing in. It's no, if you just wind it back, and even if you make 20% less every week, as you've now known, if you've still got your accounts now, you would have made so much more than if you max it out for 2 months and then lose it.
100%.
Because I think you have a mate who, we were having a discussion in the DMs. Tom does the DMs now for both Hussla and the system on Instagram. But I was talking to someone yesterday, and he was pretty fresh to the match betting space. He was very young, very much wanting to make as much profit as possible, and he was talking about another service, Bonus Bank, about their software and stuff like that, and how good it was. And I was kind of to him, look, I'm how many accounts have you had banned? He's 1 or 2, just started. And I'm look, you've got a choice now. Don't want to sell it to you, but you're going to probably get your accounts banned. And a lot of people at the moment, especially during spring, are getting this false sense of security with bookies aren't looking for banning people. They're trying to get as much marketing and money out of people as possible. So I would dare say that a lot of people who aren't doing things properly are going to get rounded up probably December after everything quietens down.
Well, we saw that last year. We saw a massive, just a wipe through where people just got decimated through promo abuse. And as JP said, right now you turn on the TV, you log on to your Twitter, anywhere. There's just, join us, bet here, this promo, this, every book
even the
now
newspaper,
is going on.
TikTok, the fucking 7 pages.
Every page of the newspaper, tabs, lad, Neds,
I don't read it
better.
Yeah.
So at the moment, as JP said, everybody is just going ham to get you on their site.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're still running a business. So sure, they'll let you on now, and 95, 99% of punters are going to be losing. And even though they're using the promos, it's irrelevant. But they will once spring racing calms down and they're not trying to, ramp up turnover, they are just going to go through and wipe people out.
Yeah, so I was going off topic there. I kind of introduced the bonus bank thing, and the guy told him, like, look, this is what we do. He was kind of a little bit defensive and sort of thought he knew everything. He's like, the software's the best. I'm like, yeah, no doubt it is. But the software doesn't have really a good practical place in the real world where people get banned. Like, if there was no place where people got banned, then use the software all day.
Exactly.
And link yourself to hundreds of other people. But I think your mate is someone who, I don't know if it's the same mate that got you into this.
Yeah,
he was making a lot of money, and
huge.
then he loses a lot of accounts. Is that correct?
Well, he does things differently. He just literally he does some research on who he can target for the accounts, like people who he can trust. Okay. And he has this crazy setup. There must be 30 phones, and he says it's a 16-hour day for him. Like, I've seen how it
on
works.
Saturday or every day?
Yeah. Okay.
Just on a Saturday.
Yeah.
He makes good money, but he's not interested in sustaining any accounts. But he did this for the first 6 months, and he didn't get banned once, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I can believe him because he's a businessman, and then all of a sudden, bang, loads of accounts banned, money lost. I think there's a few accounts where he lost good $6,000 to $10,000 just saying you broke the rules. We feel like you're match betting. So
that's a bit of a grey area, not something that the system or Hussla kind of encourages or condones, but we understand that people are doing it. Like, we teach people how to do something. They can say, okay, I'm going to make 500 to 1,000 doing this. What if I could make 5 to 10k a week? And we had a guy join our system this year who was already making kind of 15k a week doing a similar setup to that. And he wanted to come across for sustainability because he's got people that actually run his accounts. But it's just interesting to see, like, obviously you've got that low level where you're just doing, like, I don't know, some people might make 200 a week. Then you've got people making, like, your mate who's doing ridiculous stuff. And then obviously you're somewhere in between, and you found
like every day can be different for me because I'm really lucky. I can access it, about 90% of the time. But sometimes I'm just like, I've made this week, I'm just going to do the system on Saturday. But people are like, oh, you're making all this money. I'm like, but you don't understand how much effort, time, research goes into this. You just see the figures.
Correct.
Oh, well, it's a fake, it's a scam. Well, it's not. It's what I do. It takes a lot of time, and it's quite mentally straining sometimes. You got to do this and you got to do that, and then you've got loads of people asking you questions. It can be quite invasive sometimes.
That's the beauty of match betting. Like, for example, someone like yourself, as JP was alluding to, like, there are, you can go to the max, or you can find a position that works for you. Sure, I just want to make 100, 150 on the side every week. That's fine. You can also, like, put it away and not touch it for 3 to 6 months, and then come back to it
100%,
when you're ready. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm in uni exams at the moment. I've been loving it, but I'm not going to be doing any match betting until after uni exams. And that's, the great part of it. But the other thing as well is, like, if you do have more spare time, like you said, like, sometimes it works for you, and you've got all this time, and you're like, I'm going to go big this week, and other times you're like, oh, I don't have that much time, and I'm just going to do whatever works on the side, and that's why it's so nice to have those skills and that knowledge, because whenever you want to pick it up or ramp it up, you can, and you can also just fine tune it or tone it down, and it still works.
Everyone asked me, like, what my daily base routine is. I was like, well, I don't have a routine. I'm like, if I want to wake up in the morning and not do it, I won't do it. If I want to do something different, if I want to learn something different, if I fancy a different method, I just go with the flow. But Wednesday and Saturdays is the system. So I won't do anything on the others besides the system, like on a Wednesday and Saturday, because then if I start doing the system and doing what I do on the side, it just gets way too much. And, like, I have to make sure everything's, fine tuned, because one mistake obviously, can cost a lot of money and stress, and like, oh, I can't keep track of this, and and it's good, Saturdays, it's just come part of my life now, Wednesdays.
Awesome. Do you want to share how much you've actually made, or you don't want to put a figure on it?
Oh yeah, I don't mind. It's quite difficult to say, because I started my own thing in July with the multi-accounting. I think it's about 50,000 profit.
Since July?
Yeah, just overturning, just a simple method.
Might have to get back into it.
So literally, the Trumpy system, obviously 700 units, we'll just call it 32,000. That's easier.
Because you're on a $50 unit size.
Like I've never increased it, because obviously I don't know. I've just been maybe a bit lazy, and I shouldn't be a bit
Well,
lazy.
No, well, you don't,
That's
have, you don't
interesting.
have to increase it.
because it does require way more effort to go above 50.
Yeah.
From a sustainability standpoint, from
Yeah.
account management. But okay, so 50K since July 2022.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
sitting now in October 27 or whatever we are.
Yeah.
That's what, 3 months.
I think I worked out I did.
3.5 months, I think.
Let me think. I did about 500 transactions, but I was putting 8 to 10 hours a day in this.
Yeah,
like
right.
I was doing it at work, and when I was on night shift, I'd like literally do it all the way through my night shift.
Yeah, I think
You
it's actually
know.
nice to hear this, right? Because there are punters that think, oh, I'm going to make, thousands of dollars overnight on a multi or whatever. And then when they see match betting, they're like, oh, that probably doesn't work, or, that's bullshit, or they're just getting lucky. And and this is what we tell people, especially at the system, like, making the money is the easy part, as you know, but you still have to be disciplined and structured, and you have to put in some time to learn. Like, this is not a get rich quick scheme. No. We're not sitting here going, oh, you're going to make 50K like Pom here. Just, just sign up. When we never say that, right?
Yeah.
You need to be disciplined, structured, and it won't be for everybody. But for the people that it clicks for, like yourself and a lot of other subscribers, it can become a genuine piss take and a real genuine side income.
Well, that you started back in 2020, but now you're getting like 50K in the last 3 months.
Yeah.
How does that compare to the rest of it? Would you have made more than 50K before that?
Probably over like a big time frame, but not in a short time frame. What I've done in, because I just had everyone throwing themselves at me, like what I've learned through the Hussla. I just literally put something small together, and I said to my mate, will this work? He's a businessman as well. And he's like, go for it. So I said, do you want $200? They're like, yeah. I'm like, right, this is what you need to do. What do I need to do? Here's the details, read it. If it's a yes, it's a yes. It's a no, I won't get offended. And you won't be surprised how many people literally throw yourself at them just for the $200 because they're not bothered about it.
Well, we know that because we've put out videos about
but the accounts can be worth thousands.
Exactly.
But if I want to make some quick money, that's what I'll do. I'll just snatch and grab, as I say.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'll just keep them accounts when I need them and go back to them. But to be fair, I have not had hardly any accounts banned, just literally snatch and grabbing. Believe it or not, nerds, lads, and they're just there.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, you can't. Like, you're 2 years in and you're doing that now in your almost at the end of your second year.
Yeah.
So what we say is we like to say things compound. So at the start, it's a grind because if you do things properly,
you've got to learn.
You got to learn. I remember at the start, I promise you, we used to piss us off with their comments and shit in the Telegram.
Oh, that was terrible. I know. I was like,
you were a fucking pest.
I'll be like this guy. I'm like, this guy's been with us for a year. I'm like, is he does he?
Like, because you would just complain we have a losing day, and it's like, shut the fuck up, basically.
You've got 200 units.
But then you turn around, and then suddenly there was this light bulb moment, and you were actually helping people, and then you started turning the corner a bit. So I was like,
I thought someone took over your account. I was like, what is going on?
I have a bit of there's either a low or a high, or an extreme or a no extreme. But as the years have come over, I've matured, and I'm just thinking, well, that's so immature. Like, why would I be like that? But now I read it, and I'm just like, that sounds like me.
Yeah, And it's funny. Like, Tom said something on another podcast. He's like, we wish we could get people to the 6 to 12 month barrier instantly.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of people. Like, someone signed up yesterday on the system weekly. We have a really high correlation on weekly subscribers to not watching videos, not paying attention to what's required.
When are the tips?
He goes, where are the tips? I've been here for 5 days. There's been no tips. He left the tipping channel after the second day.
All right.
And then we sent him a message saying, you left the tipping channel. He's like, oh, that's it. You guys are a waste of time. You have to do too many things. You have to watch too much shit. And it's like, well, what do you want? Do you want to make money from the sky, or do you want to actually do things
it's
properly?
patient. You have to be patient. That's it.
It's frustrating because people there was another guy that joined last week. We actually gave him a little free trial because he did something for us in the background, or identified someone was sending us a message to other subs in our group trying to sell something else. We're all right, jump in on a month. He was kind of hanging around for a bit. And then his first day, Moonee Valley, Friday night, I think we went break even.
It's always a
0.05 or something.
0.025.
Yeah.
Correct.
Something tiny.
He came back to us at the end of the night, and then on the Saturday, and he was complaining and then saying that it's all wrong and all this. And then he's like, Saturday after he didn't follow, he started abusing people in the personal chat. So we took him out, and then he said, I got 26 units today. You guys didn't get 26 units, but this guy was so focused on what's in front of him, and and you could just tell this guy's gonna like lose all his money, like so obvious. Yeah. And people take it personally when we tell them, like, we were like trying to help him, like, man, we're trying to help you, like, get out of this short-term mindset. You're going to lose all your money. He's like, stop trying to tell me, like, you know who I am. And it's like, it's not personal, but they'll work it out the hard way. Because
I've seen it built from 7 units, you know, and I've seen some, like, where we've had some losing days. Don't get me wrong, it hurts. It does hurt. Of course. But then you look at it maybe a month down the line, long term, you're like, oh, well, you know, whatever. You need to just take your emotion out and just follow the instructions. It's just that simple. Just follow the instructions. And for me, from long term, coming from 7 units, you know, it's just, you know, it's a mint service. I love it. And like, it's just part of my life now, you know. And I said to my friend, this is going to be massive in 5 years. Well, it's massive now, but as a business, you look to 1 to 5 years. But I just, you know, I'll be doing this until I'm in a care home, maybe. Hopefully.
That's a fair way off. Hopefully there's still promos then. We can still run it.
Hopefully. But yeah, I've looked everywhere for a different service. You know, I've been part of other services and like, there's nothing. No.
Yeah, because you've been a part of, like, I reckon you're in, like, every Telegram group that we see. Like, you'll pop up your name, like, early on especially.
That was one of the stories I was going to talk about. Yeah. Like, when we first started in Telegram, and I had no idea about Telegram, and we were just doing the service and putting the tips in there. And I was like, well, let's see what else is out there in Telegram. Yeah. And we joined a couple of other services doing our due diligence. And I was like to these guys, I remember speaking to JP and Steve, I'm like, every single Telegram group I join, I'm like, Pom's in there. I'm like, this bloke must be famous on Telegram. Yeah. Like, he's in every single bloody group.
You're in the Facebook groups as well.
Yeah.
Like, all of them. Because, like, we started from, I reckon you may have even found yourself through one of those Facebook groups, because I used to be in them, and now I don't have the time, / I've been removed from most of them.
Yeah, I think it was...
Sporting Multi.
It was one of them, and there was this guy. It must have been a bot or something, and he was putting these ridiculous amounts of like, you know, stakes in, and everyone was just like following him. I was like, why are you following the sheep? You know, and he was putting like 50 grand hits down, and everyone's like, oh, I'm going to put this down.
Was that I think I know who you're talking about. Remember he had it was betting with a weird account. I reckon you remember who he is as well. He was just betting on like lines and stuff, like NBA lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I'm not too sure, but I remember there was one main Facebook group that everybody was in, but eventually I think it got disabled because I can't find it anywhere now, and that's the group.
You probably got blocked.
Oh, maybe.
There was 2 main ones, like Sporting Multi Group, which is 2 young kids who live not far away from here, and I actually tried to help them and we did a bit of promotion in that group early on, but then eventually they just got rid of us, and then the blokes in their bet slips one, which is run by Price.
There's multis and their legends.
Legends and their multis and stuff like that.
But I'm not really in them anymore. I used to be, then I got so sick of it. Mate, I left all the messaging groups.
At the end of the day, like, those groups are just being built by people that are, you know, just trading off affiliate. Yeah, they just want affiliate codes. You know, hey guys, if you're going to put a multi on, do it on Lads, on Deadbroke, sign up. You know, they're getting $50 ahead plus 25% of their losses. So they just want to build those groups up massive. Get punters in there that are losing and continue. It's pretty sad.
It's a sad part
it's pretty cooked.
Yeah, it's a sad part of the industry.
I know. Like, you know, that's what they're there for. You know, like, you know, the gambling industry, that's what they're there to market to the vulnerable people, you know, who don't have that mindset. You know, it's their business. They're not silly, let's be honest.
No, they're not. Not only are they not silly, they're actually so clever.
Well, we said this. Like, we could be making legitimately millions off affiliation, but we have no interest in making money from people's losses. We'd rather make money from people's winning.
You only have to sit in our groups for a week and just think, geez, imagine if you were a bookie. Like,
I know.
Imagine how easy would it be? Like,
well, we because I've been out of them, you've been out of them, Steve's been out of them. We forget what's out there. And like, probably a month ago, Tom went to the races and he just said, mate.
Oh yeah, I was like chatting to punters, and it was just.
He goes, they've got no idea. Like, they just fucking lose money.
Because we hadn't been, we hadn't been in those groups for like a while, and I hadn't been to the races in a while. Hadn't really been surrounded by it, and just like being there, I was just like, fuck, like this is never going away. Like that, you know, it'd be so like it's a dream being a
such a small minority, and we forget 100%. We are because we're growing and we're in our own groups, and we see like more of the good stuff, like people like you who know it works. Hundreds of other people now, like with 480 subs now, and these people are actually doing this every day, and the chats are now like talking about this, and then you go out of it and you just see all this stuff, and you're like, whoa, I forgot that actually still exists.
Yeah.
And then you realise,
it's amazing, like, with some of the chats, like, what they talk about. They just talk nonsense, like, put this on, put that on. I'm like, what's the point, And then, like, oh, yeah, we'll win. And then they'll go on this massive losing streak. There was one service I was following, and, like, he just markets his group so well, and he just pulls all these people in, and he's like, oh, well, if you come into this group, it's $100. And then,
is that Sportsbet University?
No, it's Notorious.
Oh, even better.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
They're the same thing. So those guys I don't know much about Notorious. I've never gone into that group.
Oh, it's just, you wouldn't believe. Like, it's just so...
Yeah, so one of them does this stuff where they'll get you in a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
The WhatsApp group has a 24-hour history on it, which deletes automatically. So you can never fucking see what the history is. No one knows anything that's happened before. So it's like every day is a new day.
Yeah.
So it's
true.
like awesome for someone who don't want to show their losses. I don't know what Notorious does, but yeah. And the guy literally admits to only posting winning slips. He's like, why would I post losing slips?
Yeah, same.
Like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, you're trying to market a service off something that's not real. Like,
it's just hard to understand that people are happy to make money that way, knowing that they're just getting paid because other people are losing and they don't care.
It's just
like, it's disturbing, honestly.
It's
but I don't know how you can
triggers me,
think,
like,
how am I going to make money today? I know I'm going to tell some guy that I'm making money, but I'm not, and I'm just going to get money off him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna promote that Sportsbet gives me VIP tickets to the races because apparently that's good. Well, why would Sportsbet give you VIP tickets to the races?
Yeah, I know. Well, I've seen Notorious it's all promoted, all them, like Legends of Betting, all them different types of Facebook groups, and everyone's like posting all these winning, slips, but the unit sizes is out of control. So anyway, I got like a deal, so I thought I'd jump in it and join in it. There's no structure. Everyone's just like flat out betting all day, and you've got so many different categories: 80 here, 100 here, 200 here, and then, oh, well, I'm going to a new service. So all them people who don't know, they have to re-sign to a new service and pay even more money. I think I worked out the sign-up fees were like $2 million had made or something like that.
Yeah, right. I mean, what they make, it's not...
Yeah, we don't care about that. It's just like...
It's more just the people that are suffering from that rubbish.
Yeah, but that's what he does. He brings people in, makes them pay more money. You know what I mean?
When you're in this space, though, and we spoke to... we had a conversation with another podcast earlier this week, but when you're in this space and you build an influence... or you build a following, should I say, and you have an influence over them. Like, you can make just as much money as they're probably making now, but teaching people how to actually make money.
Yeah.
Like, you have a choice when you go down that path, right? You either start affiliating with a bookie, you start getting percentages of your subscribers and your followers' losses. And once that starts happening, it's like, well, why would you want to tip them winners? Because you're making money off their losses, plus you're making money when they join. Or you can go down the other path. And there's a lot of money to be made in the path where, all right, do this. First of all, you're a prime example of somebody that hasn't started their own service, but you've gone down the path and you're making plenty of money on your own. Plus, you're also helping your mates and stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's what I do. Yeah,
you could build up the following and everything that all of these other services have, and they could be teaching people how to make money, or they could provide a structured service that's actually winning. But instead, these people are just chasing revenue and preying on the vulnerable like the bookies.
Oh yeah,
you guys are losing. Come and jump in here. Follow our tips. Oh, we're giving them out for free anyway, so it doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. Well, it's
Dabble,
so shit.
Yeah, Dabble's throwing money at all these different influencers.
I've seen that come about.
And one of the guys who they were throwing it at, we posted a video which showed someone. Have you seen the Nature Trip video yet?
Oh, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, somebody who didn't hedge, yeah?
Correct. So I made a video and I made a clickbaity style video for Instagram, and I started it with a video which I found on TikTok with a group of guys watching Nature Strip lose, basically.
Yeah, I remember,
posted at the start of the video, and then we got a message from them saying, take our video down, we didn't give you permission. And we're like, okay, whatever, that's fine, we'll take it down.
Yeah.
And then they explained that Dabble told them to take it down because Dabble doesn't want to be associated with the Hussla Squad or them to be associated because they're sponsoring them.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, well, clearly we've got a conflict of interest here. And we're like, all right, boys, like, if you guys want to have an influence, I don't think you understand your influence that you're having, because they're actually tipsters on Dabble and they're posting their tips. There's no results. We ask them, are you tracking them? We don't have time. We work full time.
Only the winning slips are posted, not the losing ones
on Dabble.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about how that works.
Yep. Only the winning ones are posted on the walls. Yeah.
As in, on what do you mean, on the app or on the marketing side?
So on the app, like I didn't even know there's a marketing. Is that a website?
Like Instagram or Twitter?
Oh well, I've only got the app. So basically, when you log onto the app, you have like so many different sections, like NBA horses, and you only see the green winning slips.
But
no
do
losses.
you see them prior to them posted?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Do they get deleted or what?
Yeah, they do.
They get deleted.
So any losing slip gets deleted. So it just.
So if you if I go to follow you on Dabble to follow your bets, I can't see any of your losing bets.
No. Only the winning ones.
Well,
yeah.
Who
I didn't even know that.
Is that a Dabble thing or that person?
It must be a Dabble thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Because I went on Twitter the other day and there was a post about Dabble and some guy was, I think, who's that guy that
No, I have no idea who that was.
Obviously it's not Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, I thought you thought it was Bogut.
No, Bogut we're going to be going hard at. So Bogut, I want to have a chat to Bogut personally. If you want to have a reach out, I'm going to reach out to Bogut and ask him what he's doing, posting tips on Dabble. But he's a pretty smart guy and I like his views normally. But
But yeah, Dabble's only winning only. And they've just started to do this spinning wheel. You have to put so much money in.
With the boost?
Well, apparently if you put $2,000 in, you get $500 extra on top. That's the rumour at the moment. I'm not putting $2,000 into something like that I don't have a clue about. So
it's actually a bookie.
It's a bookie, but it's like they're combining not so much the bet with mates, but the influencer, like angry dad's on there. Fucking follow Angry Dad because he's a funny, and now he's gonna lose your money.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, you may as well follow because people. It's genius because you want to follow someone that you think's cool or funny or an influencer or someone you look up to, and these guys are selling themselves out to bookies to essentially make their own rev, and they couldn't give a fuck whether they win or lose. Like they're getting paid anyway.
Yeah, so I know there's quite a lot of like tipsters in there, but like there's no structure, you know. Well, like you don't see any results.
That's the thing. Like you can have an influence, and if you want to do that, you will never see a unit size posted on a betting site. Like Sportsbet will always post a story. Hey, got any tips for this weekend? They'll have like one of their employees in the office telling them that they think this horse is going to win. Yeah. But you'll never hear them say, small play or 1 unit or something like that, because that instantly removes the degenerate emotional side of betting. There's no structure, and as soon as they want structure, you're obviously going to lose less, so they don't want that. So I was going to ask you a question. I know we've just gone kind of all over the place.
Oh yeah, I think we have a bit, haven't we? I think
that's
fine. I
I'm
don't
sure
mind.
It's good listen, but do you have any questions for us or anything that you think we can improve on, being someone who's literally been there since almost day one on both?
Well, to be fair, it's quite hard to like say, oh, you could do this better or that better, because like I've been around for so many years and there's so much good content, and it's getting the people to listen just to do the free course and look, just read it, you know. But like me personally, I couldn't say you could do this better or that better, because you always update your content, you know. So coming from my side, you know, it's really difficult.
Well, then we'll go to the next question, and we'll probably finish, not yet, but this was something I was going to finish on. But do you have any advice for, let's go with, because you're active on TikTok, yeah?
Oh,
you see our comments and stuff.
Yeah, and Telegram and Instagram. Yeah. Like people like reach out for me from all over and ask me questions. Like a few Hussla members, when I first started, they reached out to me, is it good? What's it like? I'm like, yeah, it's worth it. You won't be disappointed. And obviously they took my advice and they're still on with today.
Because you only paid, I asked you before, $497, I think.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So that was like the second price increase. Obviously now the price is $1,097.
So you've probably just made that back.
Yeah, just.
Oh, well. Well, to be honest, I'll tell you a story. I had a bet on, I think it was $87, and I was just like, put it on, 10-legger. I thought, if it comes in, it comes in. And it actually came in at like $900 or something, and I was like, I'll just pay for Hussla out of this as well. So
that's how it started.
Yeah. That's how the top and bottom, because I thought about putting it on my credit card. I thought, nah, I've got this bet going, and I'm just gonna go for it. And it dropped in. I remember talking to you about the last 2 legs. I can't remember exactly now. You're like, oh, you should hedge it. You should do this. I'm like, no. I'm just going to go with my gut, and bang, it came in. I was like, right. So really, technically, I got it off a bet.
Yeah, nice. I mean, you probably would have came in anyway, judging by you were going to put it on your credit card. So
yeah.
Awesome,
I was coming in anywhere, but my friend was like, you need to do it. I was like, is it worth it? And as soon as he said, I was like, I'm all in. You know.
And your friend wasn't a Hussla member. He just done match betting previously.
Yeah, and he'd been doing it for about a year prior. So I knew it was legit. Yeah. And he showed me, he rang me, so I knew there was no lies. And Because we were talking about crypto, and then he was like, "Oh, do this." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've been told about this." He's like, "Do it," and that was it. Mine was made.
That's funny. That's like a bit like Platinum Pete, where he's like, I was for a while dabbling in like day trading and having a crack at crypto, and then he's like, when I spoke to you about it for a bit, he's like, why the fuck am I not doing this instead? Why am I not putting my capital here? Like,
day trading in crypto, like you can win and you can profit, but unless you got a full-on professional setup that you've been proven for years, firstly, you won't make quick money from an ROI standpoint unless you literally get lucky. But then again, if you get lucky and you keep doing what you're doing, you'll probably end up losing it all. Yeah. But with match betting, obviously, it's a completely different game because number one, there's no risk associated with it, or minimal risk. And then the ROI on the percentage is you can't compare it to anything.
Plus, you're in control of it as well.
Correct.
Like, I've been following crypto probably about 8 years. I remember when it was at nothing. And then I think, was it 2 years ago, it started to really come above. And I just pumped a lot of money in. And then I made quite a lot of money and took it out. But my friend, he pumped in he put 60,000 in it. And all of a sudden, it just went bang.
Crash.
Bomb it. Yeah.
And most people who got in crypto would be the second person. And the fact that you take profit, you're the lucky, well, not lucky, but you actually took money, you cashed out.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people that invested like close to 10 and their portfolio was like well over 200.
Oh, and then
200k, and then they were like, well, this is going to the moon now. Like, so where's the get out? And now it's like back at like 18
it's
now.
It's back where it used to be.
Yeah,
and
like it's like 18 now. Like,
well, we both I invested in 2018 when I had no idea what I was doing with anything. And I would have lost probably half of that. I mean, I didn't sell, but then it went again. And when it went again, I took the profit out. So I ended up running away with a decent amount of profit. But that was only because I knew, okay, well, you have to take it profit. Otherwise, it's just going to cycle and you're just going to get caught in that.
Yeah.
And if I'd left it, I'd have, again, a quarter of what I put in.
Yeah.
And that's where most
less
people...
even, I reckon.
Probably, yeah. Which is sad because it's just back to emotions and it's like greed and all that. And it's like, when do you want to take profit? It's like, it's never going to go to the moon. It's always going to come back down.
But that's the same with punting, like, and you were in that cycle for a bit. Like when for example, the day you lost 20k, like if you won, what was going to be enough?
Nothing.
Like your 2k bet, your
nothing.
2k bet.
I just go
gone.
again. Yeah. There's no limit with me. There's no limit. That's the problem. Like, it doesn't matter if it's $5. I'm still annoyed if I've lost $5. Even if I've lost 10,000, I still get the same feeling. I know it sounds a bit silly, but as I said, there's no high and low with me. It's in or it's out. But it doesn't matter.
It's spot on because remember Steve sent us that article or whatever the other day saying like that they done studies where the amount that you're going to win or the amount that you're betting does not change the brain activity.
No, it doesn't. Not with
it's
me.
simply the dopamine hit and the thrill and the exhilaration of being involved in the race. Like the way that your brain is working when the race is running is the same if you put a $50 bet or a $500 bet. It's just simply
I love the buzz.
Yeah, that's
the buzz.
Well, that's what it is. Like that's how the addiction comes apart because it's like you're just literally there for the buzz, the thrill of being in the race, and whether it wins, loses, whatever, you're just looking for the next thrill. So you bet again, and that's why like with punters, and the emotion gets the better of them because you lose 100. And I want the thrill again. I need the thrill in the next race. But you're also like, fuck, I lost 100. So I want to be able to get it back.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, when you win your $2,000 bet or whatever, fuck, that thrill was sick. Now I've got $4,000.
Yeah.
So instead of betting 2,000, I'm going to bet 3,000. Like, it's not my money now. Like, and this is, again, slippery slope. You're never going to go at 100%. So you just always end up down.
It's the same as drugs. Like, I don't take drugs, but the same thing's happening in the brain when you take a drug or when you get a high or something. And that is essentially how people become like addicted to heroin and stuff because they go down this spectrum of chasing a higher high every time. And they're basically they're fucked.
Yeah, I work in that industry and it's really sad to see and the stories you hear, you're just like, how are you even still alive? You know?
Well, my sister's in the same area and she was looking after a 14-year-old ice addict the other day. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's incredible, like, what you learn in the care industry. And to be fair, how much you appreciate your life as well,
Yeah.
More with like the punting side of things as well. It's just so easy to become conditioned to it. Like we speak to like 18, 19-year-olds and they're like, I'm only losing, 30, 40 a week. And it's like, yeah, of course. But that's where everybody starts. And then when you're 20, 22 and you're making, double what you used to make, then your $5-10 bets aren't enough. So you start betting 20, 30, 50. And again, then you get into like your late 20s, early 30s. And like a lot of my mates now, like their standard bet will be like $100, $200. That's a standard bet. And that's just because you're conditioned to losing. And when you were betting $5-10 10 years ago, that isn't enough for you anymore. So now you're betting 100, 200, and who knows where you'll end up when you're 30, 35, 40, and then you might be betting $500 a bet. And at the end of the day, like you just... because you start making more, you just start losing more.
Yeah, I think you become immune to it, and then you're like, I'll balance my wages. That's what I was like when I was gambling. I've got 2 jobs, I don't care. My wages will balance this out. But me on a standard bet would be like 500. There's no point, you know.
But how mad is it? Like when you think back on it now, like my wages will balance that out. So right now I'm working just so that I can lose some money in my betting account later.
Free. Literally. So that's the thing. Like people will literally do that. They think, okay, well,
not people, most.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people, but they'll say it's fun though. And this is the thing that we've covered 100 times. We don't want to go into it again. But the fun thing for people is some people genuinely do have fun, but other people are just literally copying it out. And they just say that as an excuse. And as soon as you challenge them on it, they fucking jump at you.
But there is a fun aspect, and it can and truly be like contained. Like when I went to the races the other week, I placed a few bets, and that's fine. Like you're there. That's part of the entertainment factor, I feel. And it's, you factor that into your day. Like you go into the races, it's an event, I'm going to be betting. But I'm not going to sit on my couch and punt. No. And it's the same, like, for example, like you. Like we might go through a phase and we're like, oh, you know what? Let's lay some, $1.20 favorites. Like we've gone through a period of time. Let's sit down for an afternoon and do this. And that's some entertainment factor. But also, we think we've got an edge. We're going to make some money. But then it stops. And it's the difference between, as Steve likes to say, what happens between your winners is where you end up as a punter. So if you back a winner and then just keep punting all week because you back or made some money on a Saturday, you're not going to be up by next Saturday.
I know,
Whereas if you're structured or you do it for fun, when you go to the footy, I go to the footy once a week. All right, I'm going to have a $20 same game multi on the game that I'm at to add some entertainment value.
Oh yeah,
same as buying beers. Like you're not really get anything out of buying a beer, but you go to the pub, spend some money on beers because it's entertainment value, right? You enjoy that, and that's how you should view your punting expense. It should not be something that you're doing every day on every NBA game, every AFL game, every NRL game.
Yeah, it's just too much. And with what I do, I put so much time and effort into what I do. And if I go and blow like $1,000 on a horse, what a waste of money. Like I've, a waste of money and time. Yeah. I've spent all that time, doing what I do with the methods and obviously from the system. And I'm just like obviously I don't do it now, but I couldn't think of anything worse going and betting on a horse for 1,000, maybe 2,000, and just thinking how much time I've wasted. The system, like I've blown all my profits, and you just like, I get more annoyed at that now. Yeah. Well, obviously I don't, but that's how I'd get really annoyed.
Yeah. When was the moment that you actually, because I reckon you were still punting a little bit through the start of your journey at Hussla.
Yeah, I think, definitely I was. I think when I had to tell my partner I'd lost a lot of money, didn't go down too well, but she was like, it's your own fault, like, you still love you, sir, but she's like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good element of like accountability, and sometimes telling honest. Your partner or your friend it's embarrassing, but it's like it actually then prevents you. And we spoke to a guy who had to quit the system because he was we refunded his subscription. He was 3 monthly. He joined up for like, I think it was his second week in, and he said, look, man, I've got to tell you, like, I've got a gambling problem. We're like, all right, cool, you're out. Let's have a call. Had a call with him, and now he's like, fuck, thank you very much. I'll put the screenshot on the screen, but he was really appreciative. We spent like half an hour on the phone to him, and we're not going to be responsible for changing his mindset, but everything adds layers. I said, okay, start to tell your missus, because he basically spent his wedding funds that his dad gave him from punting, and we're like, okay, that's pretty serious. And then we're like, okay, do this, and this, and then he came back a week later. He had chats with other gambling help and stuff like that, and it was working, and you could see that there was a flick in the brain, and it's really good to see that. We don't want those people in our service, and if we do identify that, we get rid of them straight away and tell them.
Yeah, because like literally, because you've got access to so many.
We don't kick him to the curb though, but it's just more like, with your mindset right now, if you don't have discipline, self-control, it doesn't matter if we're making profit, because you're just going to go gamble it. Yeah. Or you're going to gamble your bonuses.
And we get a lot of people saying on TikTok, oh, like you're encouraging gamblers and all this stuff, and you're providing it, like you're encouraging it, but we know what happens in our service. Everyone else knows. There would be maybe 1 in 30 that ends up negatively being impacted by a service, and we're happy to take the 29 out of 30 that are going to positive. We're not going to operate in a world where there's 100%, like you can't have all or nothing. You can't, what I'm trying to say is like you can't please everyone or make it perfect for everyone. There's always going to be exceptions, but the majority, very high majority, 95+%, are going to have a positive impact from being surrounded by this community.
Well, 100% of punters that aren't in the community are having a negative impact.
Exactly.
So if you can change that, then, that's fine. And of everything that you're doing, there will be, some, and there are lots of subscribers, especially in the early days, that when they're on board, they're like, this is fucking sick. I cannot believe I haven't lost money. I haven't deposited in like 3 weeks. This is awesome. But then they're also like, but I have to admit, like, I got a bit lazy or I got a bit greedy and I bet some of my bonuses. But them admitting that is a great first step, because it's like, okay, like, I want you guys to, they're basically looking for instruction or being like, that's fine. Just don't do it again. Or just remember that the bonuses that you punted, if you punted 200 a bonus, that's 130 more that you could have had profit in your pocket. And that's how you have to look at it.
But I think it's good if they make mistakes. And I know people won't like to hear that, but if you make an error, then it then reinforces the fuck up, and then you act on that and you become better. It's like a spectrum. You progress along that. Like, you didn't go from gambling 20k in one bet to then being now where you are now. Like, you slowly progress.
Definitely. Yeah, like, it's just like, I'm quite emotional when it comes to stuff like that. I'm just all in. I get annoyed and it's like, right, I've had enough, I'm going to go all in. But, like, it has been a learning curve, like, especially when I lost it. But it's sad because you get used to that feeling, oh, I'll be all right. But then you actually look back and reflect, like, well, I could have done better with that money. I could have invested it, or I shouldn't be relying on my wages, But people, they just want to be rich quick. They need to be patient, Like, I was one people, I want money, I want this, I want that. And, eventually I just mature, and obviously I'm here now 2 years. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit anything, because people go, oh, well, I don't believe you. I was like, well, what do you want me to do to help believe?
But the other thing as well is like, what are you getting? Like, what are you getting out of doing that? Like, why do you're sitting here telling us, you lost 20 grand in a day?
Like, do you want me to show you?
Yeah, like, what are you getting out of it? People do want you to show, like, show me your bank statement. Yeah,
bro.
So, like, mate, show me your betting history.
We could Photoshop shit like other people do and post Sportsbet withdrawals that have 500k and say we did that. But it's like, what does that show you? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I had somebody the other day, oh, I don't believe you how much I've made. And they were like, show me your setup. I'm like, why? Oh, well, I don't believe you do it off 4 screens. And I was just like, well, do you want a picture?
Yeah, like,
what's it going to do? Like, what do you want me to do?
And what are you getting out of telling someone you're using 4 screens? Like, oh, my dick's bigger than yours. Like, I don't understand that.
I think it's like, we got a really good message this week on Instagram. You replied to it. And one of the guys said, I used to hate you blokes, or I never used to like you.
He's like, I got so sick of your repetitive messages.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but then I realized that I was only getting frustrated because it was triggering me because I was the punters you were talking about. And now, and then he's like, now I'm really interested. He's like, he's like, it's just clicked. And he's like, can you send me some information? I'm really interested. And he's like, now going through it all.
Those people will end up being the most successful, I think, because they've been on both sides. Whereas when you get the person that comes across and probably just half interested in it, they're less likely, I think, generalizing, but...
Well, it's like a light bulb moment.
Correct. And you're like, fuck that, that's so dumb, because you used to do that, and now you want to do this. And then you remember how that shit was, and then, you're that probably that person too.
Yeah.
Well, there's messages in the free chat this morning, and some guys like, I literally wish I found you blokes 10 years earlier.
Same. Like, yeah, definitely, but, like, everyone's got to start from somewhere.
Correct.
But now, like, I'm at the other side, and you just think... You see all the comments, and you're just like, why do you have to, like, say stuff like that? Why can't you just be happy that someone's found something that can make money? Like, I don't understand what you want from them. Like, do you want their blood? Like, like, they're here to help you, and to advise you. They're just here to remind you, like, Australia's got a bad gambling problem, and you don't really see that side of it until you're one of them people and you're just like, this is ridiculous.
I think what's been nice as well, as we've kind of removed ourselves from those punting groups and so on and so forth, and we jumped on Twitter like 6 months ago, and it was bloody toxic to start. But recently we've come across some really good pages and some punters on there, and there was a comment that I saw this morning that I replied to, and some guy that does form and he's really open and honest with everything. I think he's called On The Flat or whatever. I'm happy to give him a shout out. Never spoken to him, but read all this content, and he's so down to earth, so genuine. Like, you need to bet with structure, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And someone messaged him today. He said, like, I'm starting a Derby Day thread. Happy to talk about any horses and my thoughts. And someone said, hey mate, can you give me, if you were to place 4 bets on Saturday, your sure things, what would you suggest? And he commented, it was the best comment. He's like, sorry mate. He's like, I don't look at my punting that way. Like, I don't see it like that, and I can't help you here. And I just thought, like, geez, that's so refreshing. I would love more punters.
It's so logical to say that, though. It's like, you can't, that's not how it works. It's not fourth. You can't do that. Like, that is exactly how the bookies want you to bet.
I mean, that's exactly what he told me. It's like, I don't look at my punting that way. I don't see it that way. I can't answer that for you. And I was like, that is sick.
Yeah.
I wish more people would do that instead of someone else being like, oh, I like this one, this one, this one.
Like Nature Strip, everyone had all the money on Nature Strip, and I saw the betting slips, and I was just like, well, why wouldn't you just hedge it? You know, why would you just risk it all?
No. I feel sorry for that guy. He was genuinely like wanting to. He was going to buy a platinum and a system yearly sub if that bet had won. Yeah. And we were telling him, like, mate, you can take 2K profit here. Yeah. Don't even worry about the race. You literally just need 2K. He had 5K to his name. He wanted to hedge it. He was asking initially. He had 3-4 weeks, and then he went fully MIA, and we knew what was gonna, like, he was just gonna leave it because he didn't respond anymore. Yeah. And we're like, this thing's gonna lose. Like, it's just gonna lose.
I watched the race. I think a 20-1 one. I remember watching it. There was a horse multi I had on. I remember when I contacted you. I didn't, you just like hedge it, and I was like, it'll win guaranteed. But I still made like $800, which I was happy with. I think it won only just by a nose.
Yeah, so, it's irrelevant though if it wins, because like Tom has done. He's got a knack of like every now and then he'll put a multi on with nothing on, and it'll end up getting to the last leg or something. Yeah. And he'll ring me up and he's like, can you put this on for Betfair for me? Because he'll be doing something or he'll be out. And he'll end up losing, and he'll collect like $2,000 on the lay, live odds, like we explained in the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, over the last 5 years, like I can comfortably say, And I used to get in a position where I would turn over like 95% of my bonuses, and I would play with like, with 5% of my bonuses, I would have a look through, and I'd pick like 3 horses for the day. Yeah. And every now and then it would always get, and I used to do as well something that I think is pretty clever. And if people are going to keep doing multis and never listen to me, the one thing I would suggest you doing is always and you don't do it this way, but if you like something and you're going to put in a multi, always make the last leg
favorite.
Yeah. Because it gives you an opportunity to hedge yourself out of your position. And I used to always, majority of the time I'd ring JP because we used to share a Betfair account for a while, and it used to have like a big discount. Yeah. So I'd be like, mate, I've got, whatever, $2,000 return on this last favorite. Can you take me $500 straight out and then put some live lays like JP showed in the YouTube video. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm going to walk away with at least 500 from this bonus bet and so on and so forth. And it's not something that I do much at all anymore, just because I understand that in the long run, if I just turn every single bonus bet over, I'm going to make more money. But again, there's some entertainment factor. If I'm at the races or whatever, every now and then, 5% of my bonuses, I'm happy to play around with. And I know myself that I'm very disciplined and structured, and it's not going to lead to anything else. And if it wins, fantastic. That that money's just going to come out of my account or whatever. But the thing I was like saying with the lay is like, when JP told you to lay and you're 1-1, like from personal experience, I know for a fact that if you lay all of them, you will be so much further in front than if you let all of them ride. Because that one might win, but your next 15 might lose. And if you take profit every single time it's there, not only does it remove emotion and build in discipline, but you'll be so much further in front in the long run.
It's also like the gambler mindset of, fuck, what if it wins? I missed out. I would have made
that's the problem.
More. That's what people they can't get rid of that. And it's because they only see that bet. See the next 20 that happens to, like Tom just said. Because
all the 20 you put on that don't even get to the last league.
Exactly, which is the Nature Strip guy. He had every multi running into Nature Strip. Like I explained that in the video, like he probably outlaid, he said on the screenshot, I've lost 350 before even getting to this point. Like the 210 that he had remaining on Nature Strip into 3 multis to win 4.5K, he'd already lost 350 on losing ones. Yeah. So factor that in too. And then he's like, but this is going to win, and then I'm going to pay for platinum. And it's like, mate, you can take 2K here. Yeah. You need to. It's a favorite.
Fuck, I would have taken it.
Of course. It's a no-brainer. It's an even money. It's not a $10 shot that we could maybe hedge and make 300. Like it's a 2K play.
Well, I like people probably sitting here saying like, oh, these guys talk shit, whatever. Like and it's on Twitter, and I had Ben Ascari and a few other guys commenting. Horse Miller. I had an enormous multi, an $8 bonus bet, like an enormous multi, paying out $70,000. The last leg was Mystic Journey Cox Plate.
Yeah. 2019, 20.
It was the year Sam Walsh won Rising Star. So the multi was Sam Walsh, Rising Star, Jeremy Cameron, Coleman.
It was 19. It was when we were doing a lot of spring bonuses.
Yeah. Nat Fife for the Brownlow. So they all hit. It was like 21-1, 3-1, 7-1.
Put it on the screen.
And then Mystic Journey. Yeah, we'll put it on the screen. And Mystic Journey was the last leg in the Cox Plate, paying like, I think we got it at like $21 at the time, but it was $6 on the day or whatever. And I was just laying the position throughout the day. I was there, but like I just had like a big stake on Betfair. Just kept laying it off. And this was before as well, we knew how to, or not new, but we didn't do live lays properly. And Mystic Journey during the run was sitting like one off, one back, like had the run of the race.
No, I think we did it. We set it up.
Did we do a little bit of it?
It didn't get matched.
Yeah, some of it didn't get matched.
I think you made like 6K.
Yeah, it was like $6,000.
Yeah.
And it still left potential to win like 28 or 30. Like,
yeah.
So you don't have to be all out, but you can still always take profit. And this is the thing that people, you know, oh, that's so not fun, or you guys are so boring, or that's so shit. It's like, no,
Who
dude.
cares?
Majority of the time, it's going to lose. I've still made $6,000, and there was still upside to make 30. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. When you take those profit positions, like this is getting a little bit more complex into the numbers, but yeah, like you said, I think it won, I reckon you would have made 30K. I think
something like that. It was like ballpark.
20 to 30, I'd say. But then there was opportunity to also make more if it got to a winning position and lost, which it didn't. But he took his 6K before the race and
I'd probably do that. Like when I used to do multis with sports, I used to take a bit of profit and then I used to like, you know, maybe the next day put another bet on. Like I was pretty good, but not as good as I thought I was. You know, like everybody, but
it's within the structure, and you knew what you were doing.
Well, I was making money. If I'd have made like 500 on a multi, and I had a few legs to go, I'd just cash it out and be like, right, I've made some money. You know, I wouldn't risk it. But one of my friends, I don't know how he do it. He's like a genius with horses, and every time he messages me, I know for a fact what's coming. He's won big. I don't know how he does it. He does no methods. He's just just so good with them. He's done it for years. I'm like, how do you do this? He's like, I just read the forms. I'm like, you're a liar.
Question though, like, are you just seeing his bets or are you seeing his profit and loss?
Actually, he actually sends me everything.
So
you know?
he probably is a full-on pro.
Well, he's the 1%.
He's lucky.
Less.
He's always up, like, no matter what. Like, I'm like, oh, show me your statements. And he's always in the green. Like, you know, he doesn't do it, like, a lot, but...
But I was going to say, that's the other thing. Like, he still sounds like he has some sort of discipline and structure. And it's not like he's not just blindly punting every day and then being like, look at these ones that won. He's got like
2 accounts left. I think Sportsbet and Tab. The rest have been banned.
Well, yeah, like full-on pro punters obviously bet much higher. They not only get the promos banned, but...
Just 50 does a stake,
there's restrictions as well.
Yeah.
I have a question regarding money for you, which you've touched on a few times.
Yeah.
And you've obviously spoken about how when you lose money, it's frustrating and all that. I want to talk about something you mentioned right at the start, which you said about being a little bit desensitized to money and making so much money. How has that affected how you spend money and also how you approach, I guess, generally decision-making around, I don't know, you want to go on holiday, you can just spend it. You did say, I don't want to quote, but you said like you devalued money to a degree.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that you're seeing so much, you can make 50K in 3 months.
Yeah. Well, so, in Hussla, it says that on the terms of like, you know, try and keep the moral of money as it's quite hard to explain me, like don't lose the value of money, that's it. And obviously when I was doing the system and Hussla and then what I do now, you know, I used to go nuts with money, like, spent on holidays, doing the house up, just, you know, flashing the money. And then eventually I was like, this has got to calm down because I totally lost the value of money. Me and my friend touched base on this. And, I was like, I feel like there's no value for money anymore because we're making that much money.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'd go out and blow like 2-3 grand on like something for the house, or, you know, I fill the car up and, you know, send money to my family and my daughter, and, you know, it just sometimes you just have to like take a step back.
I mean, all the stuff you're spending it on, it's not bad stuff, like sending money to family.
Like I have no structure with money sometimes.
So you just fucking don't care, you just pay whatever you want.
Yeah, but now I have like third in savings, you know, third in my bank, and then third for luxury stuff.
Well, that's when you start making good money, like you have a choice. You can either, you know, just try and blow it so that everyone thinks you're making some money, or you can just use it to set yourself up so that when you're in a position where you don't want to be doing, you know, 12 hours a day every day, you can be in a position where you're like, fuck, I'm going to taper it back to 8 hours, or I'm going to do match betting once a week because you've done the hard yards at the start. And there's no point, you need to be able to reap the rewards. So you're like making bank. So like now is the best time to just start like setting yourself up so that in, you know, 2 years time, you're like, oh, you know what, fuck it, I'm only going to do match betting once a week because I want to spend more time with the kids, or I want to just chill with the missus, or, you know, I want to go to part-time work. And that's, you know, that's what we want to change the way people are punting, because at the end of the day, if you stop losing what you're losing, you're going to be able to do more things that you like anyway.
Yeah, it does make a big difference.
But it sets you up for like down the line, because if you change how you think about punting now, when you're only losing $50-100 a week,
Yeah.
that's going to stop you from losing $200-300-400 a week in 5 years' time.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
imagine what you can do with that money.
Yeah, it adds up. And like, I left one of my jobs a year ago because I couldn't concentrate on my match betting because it was really demanding, and I was just sick of the politics because people like, you don't know what you're doing, you know, you're a liar. And one day I was like, do you know what? I'm going to quit this job one day. I'm going to go into my job that I am in now, and then I'm going to concentrate more on what I'm doing.
What, because of your match betting, they were calling you a liar?
Yeah,
at work?
they didn't like it. I weren't allowed to talk about betting.
What
or anything.
industry was that in?
I was in container industry, and it got to the point where like I weren't allowed to talk about it. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Were they gambling and losing probably?
No, they wanted to talk about work. I said, I don't want to talk about work. I want to talk about making money.
That's pretty interesting.
So one day I just quit. I was done, and then I found a job, and then I was like, well, I've got all access now, and I'm a lot more happier. Like I've been like chilled out. I can concentrate on it more. You know, I'm not under all these restrictions, and I'm not working outside, and yeah, and it's so much better now. But yeah, it's all politic. You wouldn't believe like, you know, how men argue. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, but they're saying we don't believe you, and so now I've been left a year, and they're still calling me a liar, and I don't know what I'm doing.
So, yeah, right. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I got a question around. We'll probably wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
We've been going for an hour, but it hasn't been too boring, I don't think.
I don't know.
No, I think we'll be all right. How do you balance? Because I know you have a lot of different things that you do. Like you're talking about fucking fish farming in the Discord. Farming fish, not farming, but like goldfish and stuff. Like in the Discord, was that you?
Goldfish, no.
Or fish? Fighter fish?
Fighter fish. Oh yeah, me, yeah. Oh yeah.
I not even remember anymore.
I think is it off topic?
Yeah. So like, what do you? You seem to have a lot of different interest in fucking everything. Like you're across like you. I don't know if you play sport. Do you?
No, I don't play sport. I don't have time. Like I do a lot of work and spend time with my family and friends. And
so you got 2 kids, 3 kids?
Yeah, I've got a 14-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
now.
so you got 2 kids, you got wife, family. Obviously, you've got match betting. You've got 2 full-time or part-time.
I'd say like full-time job. So I still work 60 hours a week. I won't call it work. I still like sit on the sofa.
This is what I mean. Like, how do you balance all of that?
So about 12 years ago, I got introduced to care, and I've been working like 60, 70 hours every single week.
Yeah.
I'm just used to it. I just literally plan my day in the morning, what I'm going to do. If I want to go out at night time, it's just like I don't sleep. I probably have
how many hours sleep do you get?
5 if I'm lucky. Yeah, so I'll go to sleep like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll be up at like 6 maybe.
Do you crash?
Fucking hell.
I only crash after maybe about 8 or 9 months, maybe when I'm feeling
And then
it.
what, you sleep for like 15 hours or something?
No, I'll probably have like 7 hours sleep. I'm just used to it.
I need
8
like
hours
7
minimum.
8 minimum every night.
Really? No.
And if I'm training as well, like gym and stuff, I have to sleep 8 because otherwise I'll be
Yeah, I used to go to the gym all the time. I was there like twice a day at one point. Yeah.
So you're training gym as well at the moment?
Well, I used to, but
it's hard
I
to
got a
balance
bit
out.
lazy, to be honest. I just can't be bothered with the same grueling routine, like get up, protein drink, you know, like it's just the maintenance of the body. You know, it's too much. Like it. Just,
Well, it's all a spectrum. Like you don't have to go. You sound like someone who probably wants to do things a bit like myself,
all or
like
nothing.
all or nothing.
Yeah, I'm like that. Yeah.
So you want to do it flat out or just don't do it, and it's like. I don't think that's a good way to approach life.
I know.
You got to find the balance between things, which
like,
I've learned.
I just find time to do anything really. Like when I usually travel back to England like twice a year, but obviously with COVID that's been pretty tough.
Yeah.
And then obviously go out to like different other countries, and you know I just live life to the full. You know, like every day is just, you know, like I live it like my last because I work in the care industry, and
you see a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really hard, you know. But
no, I respect people who both my sisters work in emergency services, so and I've cared for people in the past, not employment wise, but like family, and it was fucking hard.
People don't realize how hard and mentally it is,
shit.
like in the mind. It's tough,
draining.
But obviously, you know, doing the system, I can do it at my client's house. We just sit and watch movies. I'm really, really lucky.
Oh, so you're like like NDIS one-on-one carer? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he says, "Are you going to do your accounts?" He's like, "Show me." So
That's sick. That's
and he was just like, "This is way above me, bro. I used to just go into the casinos and stuff like that." And he's like, and quite a few of my clients used to gamble as well. We used to sit and do the horses. And
everyone
you wouldn't believe how much he used to spend a day. Like I think 200 a day for like 4 years every day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Everyone gambles.
But we were talking about this. We believe, I think it's pretty much a fact now, that the gambling companies will make the most off the most like the max losing punters, like the people losing 20, 30 a week. They're not like doing much for the bookies, but there's people out there that will lose 5K a week every week.
Yeah,
10,
they just want to target like the top 5% of losers and just like drill down on them. The other guys make up, sure, whatever. It's nice to have more. Like you just keep collecting rev, but they will hammer down. And we've been involved with some heavy losers like in the past where they're getting 5-10K deposit matches basically weekly or on like
even like $1,000 bet returns and stuff like that, which is fucked for like a
boost,
match better.
$1,000 boosts, like like
you see, none of my accounts get that unless like I make them lose. Make them look bad.
They'll do. They literally will go above and beyond to keep losing punters on their platform, like the big dogs, and they will treat them like gold.
VIP managers that are paid to literally take as much money out of you as possible. So you're a VIP client. Hey, Pom, we're going to take you to the races. We're going to take you to box at the MCG.
Yeah, here's grand final tickets. These are worth $2,000.
Yeah, like, 10K deposit match. Put 10K and we'll put 10K bonus in there. Oh, hey, may as well just give you another $2,000 bonus today just for a donation.
Yeah, I'm not on that level. I can never be on that level.
Of course, but you wish you were if you were actually had one of those accounts now that you know what you know. But obviously, they're very hard to get, and obviously only for
it's a lot of money though. Like to get stuff like that, like your account, that's colossal.
You'd be down hundreds of thousands.
But that's what happens, and those people are paid to target those people because they make the most rev. So it is quite a sad thing. I think we'll finish with I don't know, a story, or do you have a favourite story or favourite funniest thing that you can remember, the most memorable moment across the last 2 years here? Across both Platinum and System?
I guess there's there's quite a few. I guess like my attitude towards Trumpy, I was always getting banned from Trumpy.
Yeah, well actually we should have said that. We actually, I reckon you've been banned 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, and I'm not allowed to
kick him out.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to upload pictures either. So every time I tried to put a picture, I'm banned. And I had to
we'll take that off for you now. That's probably an old.
And I had to grovel. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like there's a few times like you've already been told about your attitude. I just can't help it. But
it's so funny. But we do have subs like that. And at the end of the day, like most of them eventually are like, fuck, why? Like why the fuck was I saying that? Like I can't believe. Like it's cringy. But
no, it's not personal. We just wanted it's just more what other people see, and we don't want the wrong ideas. Like people come in and post fucking other bets, and it's like they post what they think's gonna happen for the next race.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, we don't care. Like don't post it here because we don't want other people getting confused. There's a lot of content to learn. If you see some random tip come through, you might think like that's what we're doing, and we don't want any confusion at all. So
it's just more like now for our subscribers. It's just the hardest thing is most people now know that it works and they're going to make money. It's just simply the discipline and removing emotion and comments like, fuck, another loser, or we're on a bad streak, or this is going to be a bad day. I knew Mooney Valley would suck. Like comments like that. We're just like, guys, like, have you not seen, we've been doing this for 23 months now. Like, look at the graph is going to go up. Like, we're not doing that because we're fucking mad at them or angry or we hate people. We're just like, oh my God, like, come on, like just remove the emotion and don't get emotional or try and suck other people into being emotional because you're just all doing yourself a disservice. And at the end of the day, it seems like you've worked that out now. So
I always say, look, just be patient, like, just follow the rules and then eventually, but that's the problem. People want to get rich quick and they've seen the results before, from the winning months. Oh, I want to make 60 units. I was like, but we've had some
no one made that overnight.
Yeah, exactly. And like this spring we've done really, really well. Like I think, being on a big roll.
It's actually like at the moment we're in the 10th week of profit in a row.
Yeah. It's just patience. That's it. Just patience.
But 10 weeks ago, I was going to say we had we went minus 10 weeks ago.
On Saturday, and then June we were minus 10 as well on the vlog day.
I think last year there was a couple of sessions when I was whinging. I was definitely whinging.
There was a day I was playing
Cox play?
I was injured at the time.
Yeah, okay.
It was around May. We went minus 15.5. Worst day ever. And you were in the Platinum chat absolutely rinsing the system. And I was like, fuck this guy. And I was like, I'm doing the water for the players. And I got off the fucking thing. I sent a recording in and I rinsed you. And I said, mate, like, you've been here for fucking 1 year. How do you not know what's going on? Like, just sit around. And it was just, like, these are good stories to know, like, obviously where you came from. But
because there'd be subs listening now, like when we went minus 10, being like, fuck, I feel exactly like Pom.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how do you feel now?
It's going to happen again, though. It's going to happen. And you need to be, those are the days that you don't remember in 6 months' time. Yes,
I don't remember them days. Now, even if, like, we could be like -10 halfway through the race, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'm jumping off," or this and that, and then all of a sudden,
that's me done for the day,
bang,
guys. I can't handle it, and
then it comes back around on itself because the new system, works a lot quicker and efficiently, and you just like end of the day, like, oh well, I'm 8 up now. It's just
frustrating.
I think people get frustrated because they don't have the bankroll as well.
But that's their issue in choosing the wrong unit size, and now we're seeing less of that because we're actually welcoming every subscriber with a welcome message, follow up after a week, checking they have enough accounts to follow, make sure they watch the videos, and now we're seeing pretty much nothing of that. Although we haven't had a losing day like that for like 10 weeks. So no doubt when we do have a losing day, which is going to happen again like that, we're going to see the odd person come in and is like, I'm out, or I've blown my bankroll because I haven't followed correctly, which 1 out of 480 subs, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen the subs go up like really. I remember when the subs were at like 50, then I was like, oh, when's it going to get to 100? And then you're like, oh, when's it going to get to 200? And then you're like, wow, we're nearly at 500 already.
Well, we've had 135 sign up in the last 18 days.
Yeah, it's worth it. End of the day, it's worth it. It's just be patient and just do it.
For those that
with the correct bankroll,
if they get through the first. Usually, and I've been doing the follow-up messages this week, I just tell everyone, if you get through the first month, you'll probably be in profit. But not only that, you'll know what's required of your accounts. You'll see the upside, and it's very rare. Our retention rate now, after someone stays for a full month, is ridiculous. Like 3 times as good as it was a year ago. And hopefully in another year's time, it's 3 times as good as it is now. And that's the phase. If you get through your first month, you can already start to see the benefits of it. And then if you're here for 3-6 months, you're going to have 50, 100 units, but you're also not going to want to gamble anymore.
Yeah, and I think like the thing with Platinum Pete, he's really good. Like he's straight up and honest, and he's a perfect example. Someone coming from no gambling background. And he's just so open and honest. But you still got the odd comment. I'm just like, but he's here to show you how to change your mindset. Like he's a really good example for someone to follow and listen, and someone.
And he's seen the negative effects of it like through his old man, so he's very eager to do it properly, but also to like help people along the way. And he's not a pro. He rarely takes videos or whatever. He's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put this here and give an update once a week and tell people how I'm going and to encourage others, and it's sick.
Yeah, it's good. I follow him on Instagram.
Well, he's only made 3,000 to this point, and he'd be it sounds like because people. But people from other services will say, oh, but I've made 10K in my first 2 months because I've just hammered every promo. But those people won't have accounts left in 6 months. And Pete's graph will slowly go, and then it'll just go like this, like yours. So you made 50K in your last 3 months, but I don't know how much you made before that. You might have made 50K in the 18 months before that, maybe 100K, but it's compounding now.
You get more skills, more knowledge, your bankroll grows, and then it just becomes easier to become more efficient.
I do now, I didn't know like 2 years ago. If I'd done that 2 years ago, all the people I knew, I'd have been. But everyone's got to start somewhere, But like, what can you do? Like, I don't pay attention to, like, people like, oh, we don't believe you and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I'm doing what I want to do.
Waste of time. Yeah, it's a waste of
time. You can't convince people who can't be convinced. Like, as that's what I say. Anyway.
No, I agree with that.
And you'll always have the negative, like, comments and feedback, but that's just because they're jealous, in my eyes anyway. Like you just so immature.
Well, do you have any advice, finish with that, do you have any advice for the people, because I know you sometimes comment on our TikTok and kind of not back us up, but you come in there and try and help someone, or you say like, look man, why don't you check it out or something. What would you say to the people that are, I guess, on the comments always the same people?
So instead of you getting to comment, this is gonna get cut up, put on TikTok, so you get 60 seconds of fame. Like, what are you telling them? You get to sit down, you're looking them down the barrel, like, what are you telling them?
Camera.
Like, I don't understand, like, why there's so many negative comments. Like, just follow the system. I've done this for 2 years. It's not a scam. They're not here to make money. They're here to help people and make a lot of money, and to change the mindset of people losing so much money. The negative comments are just so irrelevant and immature. Like, I don't understand what you want to achieve. Like,
neither do I. I'd love to know.
If anyone wants to, like, personally contact me, I'm here. Do I need to ring you? You can ring me. I don't care.
Where can they, without giving away your name, is there, and maybe we should make your own Instagram, like Platinum Pete as well.
Instagram.
We can call it POM.
Yeah, Telegram.
Well, they can get him on Telegram. Like, they can jump into
the Telegram username? Does it change, or it's always been the same?
I think it's under a different name now, like apartment.
Do you want that to be?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah,
Let me see what
yeah.
your
I still
username
have
is.
people on Discord message
Your
me.
username is at POM 2022. So I reckon never change that.
POM
So
2022.
POM 2022 on Telegram. Put that in if you want to contact.
And you'll see
POM.
like a crazy username.
Yeah, it changes every few months. You got
Yeah.
Buddy and all those ones.
But
and now you
yeah,
got,
I'm like a prime example, like someone coming from a gambling background to where I am now. Like I don't lie, you know. You can ask me
you got nothing
anything
to
you
gain
like.
out of lying.
I've got
so,
nothing,
yeah.
so.
Anyway,
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. Thank
Cheers,
you
thank
very
you.
much for coming on. We didn't know if this was going to be good or we never met you before, but it's turned out really. We're happy with that.
I was a
So
bit nervous. I won't lie.
It's been sick. No,
hopefully, you help other people out there that potentially can gain some inspiration of what you've been able to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Or learn anything else. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions about anything else,
Yeah, just hit me up. I don't mind. Just contact me. Any help? Like,
contact POM.
But these are your guys here who know better than me. But if you want someone as a prime example,
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
All links are in the description, and if you want to leave a comment or a question, Instagram's our best option. Otherwise, see you next time.
All right,
Cheers.
thanks. Cheers, boys.
Yeah, that's good.
We've done so many podcasts where
We've never done one that hasn't had a problem.
Really? Oh, that's
Audio, camera.
Yeah.
Have to it runs out of film halfway through.
Really?
Yeah, at least sometimes we realise. But we did a podcast like the last one we did.
Oh yeah.
We did 2 hours of podcasting for
Really?
nothing.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
It was fucking shattering.
Oh. Hopefully it'll be all right. I've had like some of my mates like, when's this podcast? I'm like, oh, it's today. Yeah. One of my best friends who I grew up with in my hometown, I moved him over here, and he's like, I want to see it. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what are we gonna call you in this? We don't want to say your proper name.
I can't say Pom because it's offensive, isn't it? Because everyone calls me Pom. Yeah.
You don't like it?
Oh, I love it, but
Your Discord username is POM. I mean, it's up to you.
yeah, you can keep it as Pom. Yeah. Sure.
Oh, we'll do Pom. I don't care. It's Pom. It's fine.
Is POM okay with you?
Yeah. Ask me what you like. I won't be offended. I'm not gonna be offended, so I'm pretty open and honest. So go as hard and brutal as you're allowed to.
Oh, it won't be brutal. It'll be brutal for the people listening, but it should
Yeah.
be brutal for you.
Do you want to introduce?
Nah, you do it. This
Me?
one. Yeah.
All right. We're calling you POM.
Yeah, we'll go with Pom. Yeah. I definitely got names like Tom, JP. Is that how you like to go with?
That's fine.
They're fake
Awesome.
names, yeah.
We had Danny Betts. We told him that they were our fake
was
names.
Cav.
Oh, Cav. We told one of the other subs for a bit that they were our fake names.
Yeah.
And he was like...
Well, when we went over from Telegram to Discord, I was like, oh, but now I really liked it. Discord.
Yeah,
it's
it was
easier.
hard. It was a bit weird, but
I think it's better now.
Yeah,
100%.
let's go and clap.